All right, let's go ahead now that we're done texturing and export our textures so that we can use them in different engines or programs. First, I'm going to just tweak the roughness on this plastic glossy pure plug. Next, I'm going to go to File, Export Textures. Then I'll click on Configuration. And we're going to make our own configuration. This is the one I made last time. I'll just delete it so I can make it again. So I want to click on PBR Metal Rough. And then I'm going to click on this little button up here to duplicate it. And there's PBR Metal Rough copy. I'm going to name this PBR Metal Rough underscore Stingray, because that's the material I'm going to use in Maya to show it off in Maya, and what I want you to use when we're looking at it in class. I'm going to delete the height and emissive map by clicking on the little X. Next, I'm going to delete the underscore texture set in all of these naming conventions. And then I'll create a new channel or new map by clicking on the word gray, and I'll drag in the ambient occlusion into the box and then select from the gray channel. Then I'll rename this one from gray to $mesh underscore AO for ambient occlusion. Once we have all of those channels, I'm going to change this from PNG to Targa. And I'll choose the config that we made, PBR Metal Rough underscore Stingray. And then I just need to make sure that I'm saving this in the source images folder of my project folder. So once I'm there, I'll just hit select folder. And then I'll hit export. Next, we need to open up Maya. With Maya open, we need to set the project and go File, Set Project, select the project, and then hit Set. Then I can open up my scene. Make sure the low poly is the only thing displayed. Select all the pieces, and then with all the pieces selected, right click and hold, go down to Assign New Material, click on Surface, and then Stingray PBS. In the attribute editor, it'll be all the way to the right. I'm going to go to Edit, Delete All by Type in History. I will rename this to Matte underscore Controller. Then I'm going to check the boxes for the textures I'm going to use. So I'll check Color, Normal, Metallic, Roughness, and AO. Then I'll scroll down. Next to Color Map, I'll click on the checkerboard, then the folder, and then I will go to my Source Images folder, select the color map, and input it. You will not be able to see the texture unless you hit 6 on your keyboard, so make sure you hit 6. Then I'll go through and I'll do the same thing for the normal map. And I'll select the object again. Doesn't matter which piece, I'll just select it. And then we'll do the metallic map as well. The roughness map. And finally the AO map. We're going to want to add a light to this to make it look better. So let's do that now. We're going to go up to, let's create a floor first, I guess. Let's select plane, create a polygon primitive plane. And I'll scale this up. And I'm going to go ahead and delete these edges by selecting them and holding Control and hitting delete. Then I'll select this back edge here and move it up and back. And I'll take this edge here and bevel it. Increase the sections and reduce the fraction. So I get something like this, a little stage. I'll select the group for the low poly and hit Control D to duplicate it. And then I'm going to rotate it and 180 degrees in the Z to put it upside down so that when we look at this, we can see the bottom texture work as well. I'll move this over and maybe rotate it a little bit. Make sure it's actually sitting on the ground. And I'm not going to spend a long time doing this next part, but I will go ahead and using vertex selection and soft select, I will go ahead and move the cord and the plug so that it's kind of like roughly on the ground. I'm not going to spend a long time doing this, but just tweak it so it's not floating. Remember that B toggles on soft select. Once soft select is on, you can hold B and left click and drag left and right to increase or decrease the size of the soft selection. You can also go to the modeling toolkit and find soft select in there along with all its controls if you'd rather work that way. I'm going to pull this out to make the stage larger. Now I'll go to Create, Lights, Directional Light. I'll move it up, and you need to hit 7 on your keyboard so you can actually see the lighting. A directional light, it doesn't matter where in the scene it is, just the rotation of that light, the direction it's pointing. I'm going to go to Lighting and turn shadows on so I can actually see the shadows. I'll go to the attribute editor, and I'm going to rename this actually to key light, and I'll rename the floor, the plane, to stage. Going to delete my history again. Then I'll select the key light, open up the shadow drop-down menu, click on Use Depth Mapped Shadows, crank the resolution up. And then I'll turn the filter size up as well to make the shadows look better. And from this point forward, I'm just playing with the lights as well as turning on screen space ambient occlusion and anti-aliasing. Then we're going to want to save our scene as a new version, and we'll be done inside of Maya. Next video, we'll learn how to render out our controller.